Greetings. Yes, it is my birthday. Today, I am 41 years old. And welcome to my live stream, this Hangout. We're going to be talking about books and maybe a couple of other things. Who knows? I might even invite a guest later. I do realize that 99% of you are probably either sleeping or working because it's a work day or it's 1 o'clock in the morning somewhere. Because of course it is, right? So, like last year, I have my checklist ready so that I don't run out of things to say and so that I don't repeat myself. And the very things I just said now, I actually put on the checklist. So if you'll excuse me, every now and then I'm just going to check off stuff I've already talked about. All right. By the way, I should get a new mic for my computer so that I can so that my voice travels through easier. I should get a mic. Before we go any further, there has already been one comment. I'm going to show it now. Stuck at work, but wanted to pop in and say happy birthday. Hope you have a great one. Thank you. Thank you. I advertised as much as possible that I will be doing this live stream. I made a notification on my well, not a notification. I made a reminder on my community tab. I got 4 thumbs up for that, so who knows? Maybe some of my real life friends will appear in the chat. I don't know. People I know in real life, physically. Let's see here. Let me just make sure I so I already apologized for the time zone. How was my day? Yeah, it was actually very mundane. There was like a morning worship service for my family, because we're a family of Christians here. Although my faith is a little bit questionable, I cannot get into too much detail on that. So we had like a morning worship service, and then we ate at a really nice a Korean restaurant in town. That was nice. I didn't get any gifts for my birthday. Due to financial reasons, I cannot do much on my birthday. But I went out of my way to spend like an hour and a half, or no more, okay? No more than 2 hours talking to you guys. So my day was very mundane. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Thank you. So my day was very mundane, but I'm just happy I'm here in generally good health, although I am a little bit overweight. Oh, not a little bit, a lot. Forgive me. I have to keep reminding you. I'm going on my checklist to make sure that I don't repeat myself and I've said what I wanted to say. Yes. How about since I didn't do a 2025 wrap-up video, I'm going to do it here now. I'm going to read to you all the books, read out the list of books that 9 a.m. here. What time for you? It's 10 p.m. here. 10 p.m. So, where was I? Yes, I'm going to read out my the books that I read in 2025. You might have noticed that I put it in my community tab a few weeks back. I said it was only 8 books. So it's going to be a very short list. I have the list here, but I have to find it. It's hiding among my notes. It is hiding among my notes. Ah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Good to know. So, the books I read. No more than 2 hours. Lightweight. Yes, Elaine. Yes, Elaine. I can only tolerate 2 hours. I'm actually sitting on the floor cross-legged, so my feet are going to fall asleep. So you might actually see me move around a little bit so my feet don't have that weird tingling feeling once they fall asleep. Just like last year, I have this hostage video backdrop because other than a bookshelf, this is the most presentable thing I can make. And my bookshelf I wouldn't say disorganized, but it's not it's not like neatly ordered, the books. I wiggle in my chair. I believe you do. I believe you do. Okay, so let's list those. I'm going to read out the 8 books that I read in 2025 because I didn't do a wrap-up video. I'm going to do this now. If any of these books ring a bell to you or you're more curious, feel free to ask questions in the comments. By the way, the comments section has a 5-second delay. That's just my protection against spam. So apologies if your answers in the comments don't pop up right away. It's just my personal sense of security that I have the 5-second delay. So the books I read in 2025 are, first one was Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr. Second one was, and I made some videos, by the way. I made some videos about these books. You can find them in my channel. The second book was Paris in the 20th Century by Jules Verne. The third book was Lord of the World by Robert Hugh Benson. The fourth book was The Last Man by Mary Shelley. The fifth book was Dream Island by Josie Litton. This one was a historical romance / romantasy. There was some hints of magic in it. It's the closest thing I got to one of those cheesy romance novels that are popular with women and with those Fabio pictures on it. It's on my bookshelf over there. Dream Island by Josie Litton. That's the fifth book. Okay. The sixth book, The Croesus Conspiracy by Ben Stein. The seventh book, The Tale of Genji, but only the first 17 chapters in a abridged version, which I have also on a bookshelf. So I'm actually reading the unabridged version now, but I read the abridged version last year. So The Tale of Genji, but only the first 17 chapters in a smaller book. And then the eighth book, the last book I read in 2025 was Artificial Wisdom by Thomas R. Weaver. Oh yeah, and The Tale of Genji is written by a woman called Murasaki Shikibu. More on Genji later, because I'm also going to talk to you about the books I am currently reading. So, forgive me, I'm going to flip back and forth here. So that was my first set of notes. I wanted to read out all the books I talked about. So that was my 2025 wrap-up. Now, the books I am currently reading. I've learned to DNF more often. So recently, I DNF'd 2 books. It was difficult for me to come to that realization that I'll probably won't. Interesting. I haven't read any of those. Well, take down notes if you are interested. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. So I recently learned how to DNF because, well, I realized that I'm never going to finish it. It might take like 5 to 10 years on some of those books. Sadly, I had to DNF the nonfiction book I was reading. I still want to read it someday, but it just wasn't the right time. Nonfiction just, I don't know. How do I explain this? Yeah. When I read a book, I want to have escapism. So my mind wants to be in this fantasy world at the same time as it's in the real world. So that's why I sacrificed the nonfiction book, even though that's interesting. Usually I just use nonfiction as like reference books. I don't appreciate the book as an overall package, you know? So let's see. Forgive me. So what I'm currently reading, I'm reading The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. It won't appear on the screen very easily, but it's called The God of Small Things. It's one of the 3 books that I got from a friend from India. This is a novel, a non-linear novel, so it jumps backwards and forwards in the timeline. This is probably the most literary book. This is probably the most booktube friendly book that I have, that other booktubers will probably pick up and read, because my books are very niche interest. So yeah, make of that what you will. So I'm currently reading this book. And the only long-term project that I did not DNF was, because I DNF 2 books, a nonfiction book and then A Course in Miracles. But the only long-term reading project that I have not yet DNF'd, I refuse to DNF for now at least, is the Oh, got another comment. That's why I love reading about UFO and alien and astronaut theory books. Non-fiction, but some read like fiction escapism. Very good point, Elaine. Very, very good point. I totally agree. Very good point. I mean that. So I'm reading the NRSV Bible. It has a little bit of faded because I handle this book a lot. I've already read the Bible from beginning to end, but that was the NIV. The NRSV is a better translation, and it includes the Apocrypha. I'm not gonna make a commentary. Oh, here we go. Oh, I have A Course in Miracles. Was going to start last year, but I put on hold for now. Yeah. Course in Miracles. I got really bored. The language was just, it was repeating the same things over and over. So it just didn't work for me. But anyway, I'm not going to make a commentary on the Bible, but I'm encouraged to read this so I can compare notes with another content creator friend of mine named Joel Swagman. Joel Swagman Reviews. He's one of my best friends on this platform. So shout out to Joel Swagman. Maybe I'll even leave a link to his channel in the description. So after this live stream, of course. So yeah, that's the 3 books that I have a bookmark in. Oh no! I only showed you 2. I have Genji, the unabridged version, and this book is over. Hang on a sec. Over 1,100 pages, and the text is really small. This is supposedly the world's first novel. I'm enjoying it. I have 3 bookmarks in it. You might not be able to see all 3 of them, but the first bookmark is how far I've been reading this book up to a certain point. The second bookmark is the second part of the 3 parts of the book, so I know how many more chapters I have until part 2. And then the third one is the beginning of part 3 of the book. So, yeah, those other bookmarks are just a reminder of how much further I have to read until I'm at part 2 and 3. Yeah, first novel. I wouldn't say, if this were a more recent publication, I would not read it. But it is the world's first novel, and it is actually very beautifully written. Hope I will get to that shortly, but hopefully I will finish this book in the not too distant future. Okay, I'm just going to go through my checklist again. And let's see. Currently reading. Let's see. So 2026. 2026, I have even less goals than last year. New Year's resolutions don't work. I do want to make some promises to myself, like treat myself better, eat better food, lose weight, but not with a certain goal. Read a certain book. So I'm not. Oh, I got a comment. I use sticky tabs for chapters on top of the page. Then I have a bookmark for the page I am on. Clever. Yeah, stickies. I don't have stickies because I'm not the annotating type. I don't study a lot. Although I should, because if there's like a really good part of a book, I should have it as a marker to say, get back to this later. I should do that. I should use stickies more. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So 2026 has even less goals than last year. Last year I did meet some of my goals, but not all of them. So I'm now having even less so that I can meet all of them. So I only have 2 goals for this year. The first one is before my next birthday, I finish Genji. I finished The Tale of Genji. I started reading in August, that abridged version. So then I just continued where I left off, August of 2025, that is. And hopefully by my next birthday, I will have finished this. And in the meantime, I will be reading other books like The God of Small Things. So, yeah, that's the first one. The first goal. The second one is, here we go. Helpful with books like the Bible and other books, non-fiction. Fiction, I don't mark chapters. Of course. Yeah. If we're going to make study materials. Yes. Where was I? Oh, yes, the next goal. So, some of you might not know this, but I am an unpublished author. I have written books in the past, but I never got them successfully published for complicated reasons. I have a large unsold physical stock in the library I used to work at. I need to remove those books from that library. Last year, annotating, beautiful way to make reading interactive, plus pretty colors. Yeah. So I need to get my old unsold stock of my books from the library I used to work at. Sad story, I was bullied out of my old job. That boss was one horrible human being. But anyway, I need to go get that. I have a whole lot of unsold physical stock of physical books. I want to sell them at Amazon, but I don't know how to yet. But that's not the goal. My goal for this year is to finish editing the book that I recently finished last year, or maybe the year before. I don't quite remember. but is to finish editing the current book that I just recently finished writing, which is a crime mystery thriller, a detective fiction. Um, I will share it to you once I finished editing it. I was also waiting for some other friends to give to read them and then suggest edits to make the book better. But only one friend responded. I actually sent it out to 3 or 4 people, and everyone else was just silent. William, you can wait to read the comments so you don't lose your train of thought. I know from experience. Will do. Will do. Will do. Now, where was I? So yeah, I want to finish editing, and I asked for other friends to help make suggestions for early edits. And some friends I have, they don't, they don't, they don't answer when I'm in need. Pity. But yeah, I had one friend gave some suggestions, and I'm gonna put his suggestions into account for that one book I wrote. I also wrote the outline for a sequel to the book I wrote before it, which was an alternate history novel I wrote. In fact, I have plenty of time, and I need to stretch out my legs, so I'm going to stand up for a moment, and I'm going to show you guys a physical copy of the book I finished before the one I just finished. So my second most recent novel. I have a outline for a sequel for that book, and let me just show it to you. I have a copy of the physical book, but I need the blood to return to my feet. I don't want to fall over and then crash on the laptop. Here it is. The Coffee Thief. This novella is my book. I had like 75. I had a limited edition print run for this one and only gave it to friends and family. I had 2 booktubers who are no longer making videos do reviews of this book. I have the playlist on my channel of the people who made reviews of this book. They gave away spoilers, so I'm not sure if you want to watch those. But yeah, I made an outline for this book, an outline for a sequel of this book. And yeah, I'm actually proud of this one because it's a very experimental novel, because it's my favorite subgenre, which is alternate history and dystopia. In fact, I cannot promote it enough. Please, please, please go to my channel and look up playlists. And let's see. The 2, other than the one about reviews of my book and my original tag, which I made, there are 2 other ones comparing books with similar themes. So comparing books side by side. And there's also a playlist of all the alternate history and dystopia novels that I've read that are part of my collection here. I'm really proud of that playlist I put together. So if you're interested, you could go check those out. I know, I'm self-plugging, but this is my channel. Anyway, I did not lose my chain of thought, so I can put this up. No. Oh, wait, I already did that. Here we go. Here we go. Congratulations on written books and hope someday you get them published and available for sale. I hope so too. I hope so too. I know those kind of friends can be frustrating when you are excited about a project or in need of help with something. Grateful when people are available. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Elaine. I so agree. Anyway, this is my book. So I show that to you. I'm going to make sure let's see, mention the sequel outline. I mentioned I'm going to finish editing my other book. The book that I just finished writing, but I haven't printed yet in book form. Okay. Okay. Now, I would like to talk about. I have something here. You'll just bear with me. This book, Malgudi Adventures by R.K. Narayan. So my friend from India got me 3 books from authors from India, in addition to this one, which I'm reading now. This is the first book I read in awesome part of booktube. I have met many awesome people who are supportive and helpful. Yes, yes. This is a collection of bits and pieces of books that the author R.K. Narayan wrote in his lifetime, and 3 short stories. So these are like 9 snippets or vignettes of scenes from certain books that R.K. Narayan wrote, as well as 3 short stories that he wrote. Now, because it's a collection of, it's sort of like a Reader's Digest. It's just samplings of books. It's like a Reader's Digest book, but for only one author. Because of the structure of this book, I could not make a review of it. But here's what I will say about R.K. Narayan. He was one of the pioneers in English, in literature written in English from India. He was born in like 1905 and then passed away in 2001. A very extended old age, yes. He wrote, I like his writing style. In the future, I need to find more books by this author, because you might not know this about me, but I love stories told from the perspective of ordinary people, working class characters, people with no superpowers, people who are not born into privilege and wealth, and people, frankly, who do not gain privilege and wealth and who are not particularly special in any way. I like reading stories about the lives of ordinary people, working class and poor. And R.K. Narayan is the best author for that. He writes about the daily lives of, so as you read this book, you'll see slices of life from ordinary people in India, from the 1930s all the way up until the early 1990s. And ordinary Indians are very charming. They ask, in the course of their conversations, there's a lot of tragedy, and there's some things that'll make you angry in this book. But at the same time, that's part of its charm. You get to see these petty arguments that ordinary Indians have, like children fighting over a toy, or a parent trying to give a child a bath, whereas he's just wriggling around, or a kid takes something and then says, "Hey," and then a kid runs out of the house, and the parents say, "Hey, it's your bedtime. You can't go out And then the rebellious kid says, "Make me," and all kinds of these little petty things that rebellious children do. One thing I learned about India when I read this book was the education system in the old days. I don't know how it is now. Was very disorganized. Children would go to a school, one building school with one teacher, and the children are not. It's not mandatory for the children to show up. So education was very shoddy for them. You would enjoy Margaret Pinard books, historical fiction, family in Scotland during challenging times, and their move to Canada. Okay, okay. That's my son that's my son. I was talking about children in this book, frankly. Um yeah, so it just tells the story of the lives of very ordinary people. And another thing like I said, the education system is broken, so I found that kind of sad. And sometimes they have these humorous back and forth arguments. They get into religion and philosophy and lifestyles. There's these really weird conversations between small business owners and customers, or a bus driver might say something very deep. Uh, Sadly, sounds like much like education in Canada now, except they have several classrooms. Um, Children are not encouraged to go every day. Uh, Tell me about that, Elaine. No. I'm genuinely curious. Is there problem with class attendance? Is there problem with good quality teachers? That's what this book tells me. So I'm genuinely curious. So you can make a follow-up comment about that. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, there's sometimes weird things like, "Who are you?" Well, who am I? I don't know. It's I am who God made me. So sometimes people have these, or how much longer? I don't know, a million years. There's sometimes these awkward bits of dialogue. So there's these little bits of humor. Um, and one final thing: the lives of poor Indians. It's interesting. They really can appreciate. Depends on the parents. Not everyone thinks education is important. Right, right. But isn't there like enforcement mechanisms or something? Anyway, one thing about Indians is they're very, very humble. They're just regular working class Indians. They now this the book that the part so this is like the 1950s to 1980s. There are Indians who make a really big deal, like if they're about to get their photograph taken in a class photo. So they put on their best shirt, despite their best shirt maybe having a few stains, because it's the only shirt they have. It's the only nice collared shirt they have. So they make a big deal about getting their black and white photograph taken and framed. And children really get excited over a pack of sweets that they might get like once a month or something. So they're very, very humble. They get excited over these simple pleasures in life. It makes you sad, but it also makes me smile at the same time that this is what ordinary people talk like. This is what ordinary people, they're very grateful just to have these little small pleasures in life. So I love it. Like I said, because this is like samplings of different books by R.K. Narayan, I want a complete novel by him one day. I hope to get that soon. Sadly, the cycle of parents on social benefits. If the kids miss 15 days, benefits cut. So kids show up for a few days and then gone for days. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, some things never change. Some things never change, right? R.K. Narayan, like I said, wrote stories from the 1930s, the mid 1930s, pre-independence India, up until the early 1990s. Yeah. Um, so anyway, there we go. That's R.K. Narayan for you. And okay, bingo. Let's see. Oh, more talk about kids. Here, kids rarely fail a class or get held back, so keep getting pushed forward. Ridiculous. Um, well, what do you mean? Like standards in Canada are lowering? I don't know. I know education in Indonesia is getting better. We don't have we don't have strictly international schools here anymore. We have a hybrid system where we have some amazing teachers, but system is so broken. Yeah, but the education in Indonesia is getting better. We have schools with internet private schools that accept both Indonesian students and foreigners, and it's mutually beneficial to both, because for the Indonesian students it gives them access to universities abroad with their high standards of education, and for foreign children, expat children, it makes them integrate with the local with the culture here, integrate with the natives, with the locals. Because here's the thing I want to tell you about my childhood. I went to school at the time I was still a Dutch citizen. I wasn't Indonesian. I went to a school in a gated community. It was a whole bunch of, I hate to say this, but it's mostly true. It was a whole bunch of white kids. I was like one of a very small handful of brown kids there. Um, and so these foreigners were had completely different lives from the Indonesian citizens, from the Indonesian kids. So those barriers are now being broken down with these hybrid education systems here in Indonesia, which is a very good thing, because now kids learning today can study abroad, and expats are integrated into the local population and understand the culture. So there is that. Uh, yeah, so there was a tangent there about education, which is cool. Um, all right. There is one more list of books I want to talk to you about. So that is good. Uh, hang on. Hang on. I have my notes here. Here it is. Here it is. But before I do that, I'm going to read a note, a comment. 23 years working in education, very complex topic. There are standards and expectations, but wide range of issues and problems. Yes, yes. Um, you might have Elaine. Um, you might, I don't know yet, have an opportunity to talk more about that in a moment, and you'll see why, and you'll understand why shortly. So, fingers crossed. Classrooms are overcrowded. Teachers can only do so much. Kids with variety of needs. Yes, yes, but but do do teachers disappear for several weeks? Do children like? Oh yeah, yeah, they do come in and out, but it's not like one classroom buildings, and and the government still has some control over attendance records. unlike in the past in India. Anyway, I don't want to lose my chain of thought here now. Classrooms are overcrowded. Yeah, I think I already mentioned this. All right. So here are the 5 books that I want to read that are on my wish list. Now, hang on. I don't want to talk about my entire wish list. I've already done that 2 or 3 times on this channel. You can watch it in older live streams. I've read out all the books that I don't have that I want to read, or the books that I do have and want to read. So it's my inexhaustible wish list. You can find that on my channel. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to talk about the books that I have on that wish list that I read. That the longer I delay reading them, the more I want them. Like, they become so tempting if I can find these out in the wild, or if someone on the internet or one of my real life friends gets these books for me. So these are the books I want to read the most. They've been on my wish list for a while now, and they've become really tempting. So one is an alternate history novel called The Mirage by Matt Ruff. Another one, published in 1937, a dystopia novel called Swastika Night by, and this one has 2 names, Mary Constantine or Catherine Burdekin. One is a pen name, one is the real name. This one is like, this book is interesting. Swastika Night by Mary Constantine or Catherine Burdekin. So it's written by a woman. This book was published in 1937, and it looked to the future. So this is not alternative history. It looked to the future, predicting that Adolf Hitler would conquer the world. So it wasn't looking back at what if they won the war, but it was looking forward to what if they conquered the world in the next few years. This book is that I want to read. Swastika Night is also has some LGBTQ plus undertones to it, so it's also gay friendly. The third one is the first book in the recast series of the Middle Kingdom series by David Wingrove. Now that fictional science fiction series is about a future where China has conquered the world and covered the entire globe in one massive planet-wide city like Coruscant in Star Wars. So the author has now, it's hard to explain this, recast it. So he's republishing the books with new material. And the first one in his new Middle Kingdom series is Son of Heaven by David Wingrove. So yeah, there is that. So that's the first two more. And then there's SSGB by Len Dayton. He's long retired. He wrote a lot of thriller novels from the 70s to 90s, and especially World War II stuff. He did one alternate history one, which is SSGB. There are a few reviews of that book on YouTube, but I want that one. I definitely want that one. Okay. Like the Urantia book, I've been looking and wanting for years. Finally got it. Maybe months before I start, but on my shelf. Yes. Again, Elaine, hold your horses. You might get a chance to talk about that. Let's see. And then, of course, one very famous one. I've read all the popular classic dystopias except one, which is We by Yevgeny Zamyatin. It is available on my local online seller on the internet. My local online seller. It is available there, but I don't want to buy any new books until I finish this and this. The Bible is a years-long project, so I don't have to finish that one before I buy a new one. So those were the 5 books that I want but cannot get yet. So let's see. Let's get back to my checklist from earlier. By the way, okay, so here's another thing I want to talk about. Are you guys interested? There's a Netflix series I've already watched that I want to make a review. I've seen people review movies and TV series on BookTube in addition to books. So anyone who watches this on the replay can tell me, would you be interested in me doing a review of a TV series? Again, alternative history, that's my thing. That's what it is. There's a Polish TV series called 1983. Yes, that is wordplay on 1984. On it's available on Netflix. I'm not sure how much longer it'll be available on Netflix, so maybe I should watch it and review it ASAP. I don't know. But yeah, there it is. Maybe you'd be interested. Okay, 46 minutes. I did say 1 hour at least, did I? And I said 2 hours at most. I was thinking about doing a rant, but then that might get too negative. I might save that for later or for a scripted recorded video. I suppose I should mention this briefly without getting into too much detail. Over the past 2 years, I've been concerned about my general health. I am overweight, and I've had a lot of weird health issues over the past 2 years. I'm going to be tested in February. In December, I finally got enough money to get the proper health checkup that I wanted, that I wasn't sure was available to me with my government insurance, my government healthcare insurance, which is attached to my place of employment. I'm a wildlife surveyor, by the way. I go to a reforestation area and list all and make observations and reports over what animals I see there. So, fun job. Anyway, so in February, I'm going to get my health checkup that my government insurance could not give me. I have to admit, I am a little nervous because this has been like at least a year and a half in waiting, this health checkup that I wanted so badly. I'm a little bit nervous as to what the results will be. Depending on the results, I will adjust my plans moving forward. But I'm happy that today I managed to do this live stream. I've noticed people going in and out of my watching this channel. Only Elaine is constantly here. This was more or less the case in my other one, although that one had like 3 people leaving messages. This one only had 2. Yes, about having to worry about money and health. Grateful we have universal health care and covers most things. Yeah, we don't have universal health care here. We do have government health insurance, but it's attached to your place of employment. So the government pays for your health care, but it's conditional that you have a job, 1. And two, about the government Indonesian healthcare. And 2, what you do is you report to 1 doctor's office, you show your insurance card, and then if you need like specialized treatment, they will recommend one hospital and one doctor. Second opinions, the government will not pay for. And I really, really, really wanted that second opinion. So that's the background as to why I wanted this privately funded health checkup, because the government healthcare doesn't offer second opinions. That's the problem. Awesome sounding job. Yep. All right. Let's see. So I made my health announcement, and I won't get into too much detail because I am a bit of a private person. Okay. I'm going to circle this one because I might circle back to this later. Glad you were up doing the live stream. We're up. I'm not leaving yet. I hope that doesn't mean you're leaving, Elaine. That'll make me sad. Let's see. So I'm going to circle this one so that I get back to it later. Okay. Yeah, I noticed people coming in and out of the chat. Pity. Okay, 51 minutes. I've mentioned my writing. I've mentioned the books I want, the books I'm currently reading, the books I have read. So past, present, future of my current reading. So that's cool. That's cool. Okay. I see two people in. Oh, no, I mean you are feeling good and able to do the live stream. Thanks, Elaine. Thanks. Okay. I mentioned this in the comments, I think. You stuck with me until you wrap up. Yes, apparently I am. And you know, Elaine, because I've seen your live streams. You're a very nice person, and you're a very engaging person, and I mean that. That's why I actually now I'm going to get to my point. Don't worry about people coming and going. Happens to all of us. Yeah. Now it's up to 3 again. It's up to 3, the viewers. Okay, I've got 3 viewers on, but it might go down to 1 again in a moment. I don't know if this is going to work. But I'm going to post the link in a comment, and if it post the link to the website, and maybe. Happy birthday! I'm listening and getting ready for work. Another person just started work when I was doing this live stream, but I'm happy to see you here. I'm happy to see you. So, now I've got comments from 3 people. This is good. Saying hi. Very nice. Okay. I'm going to post the link. in the comments. And if it works, and if you are willing to for me to have my first guest on my channel, oh boy, that would be really fun. But like I said, no promises, because I'm very amateur at this. No promises. But let's see if this works, yeah? Copy. Paste. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Boom. If that is a working link, and you are interested in having a chat with me now, by all means, enter the chat. I hope I can get you in the chat like that. So there it is. Who knows? Who knows? If anyone is interested. I got 2 people watching. That's good enough. So let's see. Now, we are all learning together. All good. All right. All right. Anyway, where was I? I still have like 5 minutes before I'm an hour flat. So I promise I'm going to be here for at least another 4 minutes and a few seconds more. So I promise I'm still going to be here for a little bit longer. Because, believe it or not, I've run out of things on my checklist to talk about. So, except one thing. And I really do want to... This one is a I'm still on coffee too. No camera ready. I would join. Okay. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. Okay. So I still have time to talk about this one subject, and it's going to be a little bit of a rant, unfortunately. Now, before I begin, a little bit of backstory. Before getting into BookTube, I was like, best way I can describe it on my old channel, I was a little bit of a, quote, anti-cult crusader, meaning I criticized a lot of organized religion. I don't like evangelism. I don't like the doctrine of hellfire. I don't want to get into the details of my spiritual beliefs. Now, I put that in because in the past, like I said, I was very critical about religion. These days, similar to politics, I try to minimize the discussion about those things because they're, well, complex, because they're difficult to talk about, and not everyone will agree with me. And we will coordinate have you on my live, but I'm currently adjusting to new meds, so it'll be a few weeks. All right. My email is in my channel description, so you can send me a link there. My email is in my channel description. Now, where was I? Yes, I was in a past YouTube existence, somewhat of a critic of religion. Perfect. I was somewhat of a critic of religion. And so I thought with BookTube, it's a friendly community. Your politics doesn't matter. Your religion doesn't matter. As long as you're interested in the same books I'm reading. So that's how I saw it, basically. But then I noticed there's something called Christian BookTube. These are booktubers who read Christian literature. And that's cool. That's another angle to look at it. But I have a problem with Christian BookTube. One person was currently not Christian BookTube, and then he became Christian. He wanted to just talk about. He wanted to talk about the books he was reading in relation to his religion, and so I was subscribed to this person, but not anymore. I have a problem with Christian BookTube in the terms that they're preachy. I've seen no less than 4 videos where content creators talk about what books they avoid from reading. Now, you can read whatever you want and not read whatever you want. But when I saw these videos, like I saw one woman do an unhaul video, based on my newfound faith on my newfound religion, I'm going to get rid of all my horror novels. And I thought, that's like, on video, you're demonstrating, here, look at me, I'm a good Christian. You should be a good Christian too, and unhaul your horror novels. And then there were three other people also talking about what books they would avoid. And then they were talking about it in relation to their religion, to their Christianity. And that rubbed me the wrong way, because they were basically saying on camera, if you want to be a good Christian, you should not read these books. You should get rid of those books. I would not allow you anywhere near my bookshelf. So I had a problem with, so that's my problem with Christian BookTube. And I'm sorry if this is negative. I just wanted to get this off my chest, I wanted to get this off my chest. It's it's not fair. And the reason I'm complaining is because it pops up in this community that I love, that I wanted to create distance from my past criticism of religion. And now that whole preachiness stuff that I did not appreciate is following me to this community. I don't like that at all. Now, I'm not averse to reading religious stuff. I just showed you the Bible. I also read Lord of the World by Robert Hugh Benson, which is a Catholic version of The End of the World. I have videos on that book in my on my channel. So I'm not averse to reading Christian literature. If you want to talk about those books in a positive sense of what you are reading, and then you show it to me on screen, I might actually be interested in reading it. I have a Christian background. My family is Christian. My spirituality is a little bit more nuanced. Long story short. But regardless, so I don't mind if you show books with a Christian orientation or a Christian audience. Yay, on break finally, and still going. How goes the chaos? Not much chaos. Oh, wait a minute. It depends on the content creator and how they talk about the subjects. Yes, how they talk about the subjects. But anyway, like I said, so they come to this community that I love, and then start preaching about what books I should not be reading. The murder mystery novel that I finished writing recently. Yes, please do. The murder mystery novel that I finished writing recently, for a Christian, that's sinning in your brain, because that's thinking really dark, scary thoughts. And then suddenly this nice Christian woman, a Christian housewife, pops up and says, you shouldn't be reading those books. You shouldn't be writing those books. That's sinning in your brain. So they keep reiterating that I'm not judging. But I feel that they kind of are, because they're making content and telling other people what books they're avoiding. So they kind of are. And then I tell them, and then I made like two mean-ish comments. I didn't insult them personally, but I kind of got confrontational, and I said, I don't want to sit in your church if it means getting rid of a lot of my books. I don't want to go to your church. Sorry about that. So, yeah. Pity. So, yeah, that's my problem with Christian BookTube. I got it off my chest. I can check that off my list. So, where was I, huh? Yeah. I don't know what you guys think. Do you find that problem? Like, when people when people talk about their religion, say, in order to be a good person, you should not read these books. Does that rub you the wrong way? Because it certainly does for me. So that's why I'm not subscribed to any booktuber with a Christian slant, because I kind of worry that they're going to be all preachy on me. Let's see how. I'm going to catch up with the comments. There's no kinda about it. Those are people I don't waste time on. You won't change their minds. Yeah. I know. I shouldn't waste time on them either. It's the only reason I talk about this is because the YouTube algorithm recommends them. They pop up on my not on my personal YouTube feed, but on YouTube suggestions over videos to watch. So a Christian booktuber every now and then pops up in my recommended, in my video recommendations list. That's why I'm ranting about it now. There's a saying, no hate like Christian love, that drives a lot of folks away. Yes. Totally. I have yet to do my banned book tag video. Topic irritates me. Banned book video. Okay. I agree with you, but I just remind myself that it's part of the territory. Oh, hi, Jane A. Oh, he comments in a lot of my videos. Nice. Thank you for showing up and leaving a comment. Now I have more people to talk to. You know, I might even go on to 90 minutes. This is over an hour, but now I have more people engaged. But it's going to be a little bit of a randomness because I've run out of subjects to say. So you guys are going to have to help me keep going. But it comes to the territory. Clear your history, and it won't happen. Yeah, I clear my history all the time. It doesn't happen too often, but it sometimes does. And another reason why it sometimes pops up is because I do sometimes get curious about books with a Christian slant, like that super long Left Behind series, that ridiculous rapture thing. I might watch videos based on that, bookish videos based on that, and then the algorithm thinks, "Oh, you're interested in Christian stuff." Not really. It's just now and then a passing interest, if that makes any sense. But yeah, in the future, I'll do my best to avoid such people, avoid them. I do give them a thumbs down, and I'm being transparent here because, oh yeah, there's another subject. Here's another thing I want to talk about. I am a terrible liar, and being bad at lying is actually a very, very good thing. Oh. Okay. Focus on the ones you enjoy. Ignore the others. I hear you. I grew up religious but never bought into it. It just doesn't make sense that there are so many people here on earth, but we're all supposed to believe the same thing or go to hell. It's a head scratcher. Yep. Doesn't help that folks switch up. Like one booktuber I used to follow, as we both read similar books, discussing on. Then a couple months later, the channel was very Christian only. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. See, that's what I was talking about. When suddenly someone becomes Christian only, like that just came out of left field. Yeah. Interesting, as one author I met with writes Christian horror. He is awesome. Has been on a live with me. He isn't preachy. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. As long as you're not preachy, as long as if you said, for example, I'm a Christian, that's fine. But then it begins to say that, oh, I suddenly felt the Holy Spirit working, and then maybe you will experience that. Then we tread into the preachy territory, if you know what I mean. Like any group, they are not all preachy. Yup. Yes, totally. Totally. I agree. They are not all preachy. And I appreciate that. You know, maybe now would be a chance, since I don't have a lot of I've run out of bookish stuff to talk about. I believe in a higher power, but not in the way the Bible describes it. So I believe in God, but I don't believe in the way that I don't believe it as according to what's written in this book. It's more complicated. It's not as simplistic as this deity. Same, Leslie. Grandma was my Sunday school teacher. When I got old enough to question things, it all just rubbed me wrong. That happens to all of us. Well, not all of us. Happens to most of us, at least around here. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, I believe in a higher power, but I don't believe it according to what the Bible says. In my opinion, it's more complicated than that. Like, I believe that, and there's some. I've given this advice before on a community tab post, I think. If you sit in a quiet place by yourself and then empty your mind of distracting thoughts, and then ask yourself one question or set one goal, and then you ask yourself a series of questions. How do I get to that point? Like, you want to colonize Mars. I don't know. You might not get there 100% of the way, 100% of the way, but you might get there like 80% of the way. I don't know. So you sit in a quiet space and sit still, and don't let any other thoughts distract you. And then the answer will present itself. And when the answer presents itself, in my opinion, that is the will of God. The will of the universe, like the flow. Like, we're headed in a certain direction. And if you listen to, not listen to a voice, but if you clear your mind, the path forward opens up. I don't want to say like manifest. I believe, therefore it appears in front of you. No. The path appears to you if you clear your mind of distractions. Let's see. Rub me wrong. I have simple rule. If it is my way or the highway, I will be happy to show them the turn off from the highway. Yep. Let's see. I got a lot of comments coming here. Gotta go back to work. Have fun. Happy thoughts and great day to you. Oh, bye. Bye, Cat. Bye, Cat. That was nice. That was nice. Oh. So, I think that about what was it about? Oh, yes. So, if you sit in a quiet place by yourself, ask and set a goal, like ask one question, the answer will present itself. It's spiteful. So, yeah, will present itself. And that, in my opinion, is the will of the universe. And I believe like God is like a formless presence. All the five senses, what we experience in the physical world, is a reflection of the spiritual presence. So the best quote form God has is an ever-present cloud with a will of its own. That's the best way I can describe it. That is what I believe in. That is what I believe in. And I believe God is a God of experience, of growth. That's why we grow from childhood to adulthood. That's why we have evolution. That's why we have society evolving. William, if you could meet one author for your birthday and one fictional character, who would they be? Thank you. One author. Robert Harris. Robert Harris, who wrote Fatherland, who inspired me to write The Coffee Thief. So I read Robert Harris's novel Fatherland, and I saw a map on the front cover, on the front of the book, of the redrawn lines on the map of this alternate reality. And I was thinking at the time, what is going on in my corner of the world, Indonesia? Now, Robert Harris is not. I'm not entitled to an answer from Robert Harris because it's his book, and he probably doesn't have an answer. But I would want to meet him and thank him for inspiring me to write my own alternative history novel. He inspired me to write this book. He is one of my favorite authors. He is one of only 4 authors that I have read 3 or more standalone works from. I've read series from like David Wingrove, but I didn't read like 3 separate series or 3 separate standalone books from him. So the first one is Robert Harris. A fictional character. Depends. I mean, there is my favorite book, but I'm not sure if I want to meet any of the characters from my favorite book. Maybe. Oh, yeah. Read a lot of stuff. I'm thinking who would be the most ideal. Maybe from the Mist novels, a character from the Mist novels. Someone from the Denis civilization who writes books and then they create windows into those worlds. Could send him an email. Never know, he might get an answer. Yeah, I might get an answer. I'm giving you an answer now. Atris, there is the Myst video games, the Myst computer games. In the 1990s, there were 3 novels. They're now in a bind-up called the Myst Reader. I have it there on my bookshelf. So someone from the Denis civilization to demonstrate to me the art of writing in a specific language, writing on a book, and then the book creates like a panel that transports you to a different dimension, to a different world. So he describes the world on the pages, and then the last page turns into like a window into that world. I found that if I could get like a character like Atris from the Myst games and the Myst books to write a world like that, or let me try doing that, do some writing with some magical ink and magical paper and magical language that transports me to these other worlds that are described in books. I'd love to meet a fictional character like that. Let's see. I emailed Shirley MacLaine about one of her books. Got a lovely response. You could send him. Oh, you were talking to me. You could send him an email. You never know, he might get an answer. Yeah, I tried to look up his contact details, but he doesn't make himself available. Another book, Joel Swagman, who I've already mentioned in my earlier, who's also reading the Bible, and then I wanted to compare notes with him. Joel Swagman. Like I said, I'll link his channel in the description after the chat, after the live stream. He suggested I go on X, or formerly known as Twitter, so that I can contact him there, or contact his publisher, the publishing company that publishes his books, so that I can reach out to him and basically thank him for inspiring me to write my book. So that the one about contacting his publisher is an idea I might do, but he doesn't seem to have his contact details anywhere else on the internet, not even on his personal website. Yeah, I think his personal website is like linked to a bigger website, like my YouTube channel, to YouTube overall. I don't think he has a personal website, but his like profile, he doesn't offer any contact info, unfortunately. But Joel suggested I contact his publisher. Look at you, past an hour. Yeah, I didn't expect this, and I still have four people watching me. So I could contact his publisher, but I don't want to get on X because I'm already addicted to. Excuse me. I'm already addicted to social media as it is. So I don't want to, go on X and then leave like a comment saying, "Hey, you inspired me to write my book. Let's have a chat." So I'm not going to contact Robert Harris through X/Twitter. Plus, I don't like the person who owns X. But I could contact his publishing company. So there it is. The publishing company. Because I still have some time, because I'm going to go up to 90 minutes, I'm going to put away this book and show you another book that I was talking about a moment ago. If you'll just hang on for a moment. Oh. This book inspired me to write my own book. So this is I don't know if this is my favorite book of all time. No, my favorite is Musashi. But this is a close second. I really like this book. Highly recommend it. I'm going to put it back on the shelf. Awesome. Okay. I know what I can talk about. I'm currently reading this book, The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. One of the 3 books I got from my friend from India. I'm going to talk briefly about this book. I'm only just started with it, but I read how it's non-linear. Unfortunately, I don't appreciate non-linear books. So it jumps back. So the book is like jumps backwards and forwards between 2 presents, not 2 present days, 1969 and 1993. Those are like the anchor years, but everything that happened in between and prior to 1969, this book is like a long series of flashbacks. Margaret Atwood, who wrote The Handmaid's Tale, did that very, very well. where the book is not strictly linear in the plot. It's like a series of flashbacks, but this one is flashbacks, flashbacks, flashbacks. So like they have like a paragraph in the present day, and then they have like 10 paragraphs in the past. So it's like a series of reflections, and the flashbacks are not in chronological order either. The story like jumps around all the time. They can get confusing. I prefer linear myself. Yes, yes. So I don't know if I appreciate that, but I do want to read this because the story, the plot, the setting, and the characters are endearing if you read them. More on it when I do a review of this book. When I do a review, but when I do with my review, but the characters and the setting is very endearing. So I do want to read this book, but it's gonna take a while for me to get into this idea of the timeline is just jumping all over the place. It's non-linear. There are some books like Cloud Cuckoo Land and Cloud Atlas where there are multiple characters from different time periods, but it's not the same set of characters jumping around in the timeline. No, it's character A is in this year and character B is like 10 years later. And then maybe eventually they'll meet somewhere in the future or somewhere in the middle eventually. But the plot mostly goes linear as opposed to jumping around all over the place. I don't like that at all. Oh, I gotta read this. Handmaid's Tale, important read. I'm currently reading The Testaments, also by Atwood, and second part of Handmaid's Tale. I read that, and they're gonna have a TV series coming out this year of The Testaments, the sequel to the TV series of The Handmaid's Tale. But yes, I read The Testaments too. It's also on the playlist of alt history and dystopia books on my channel. On the playlist, it's also on the playlist. I keep advertising the playlist, but this is my channel. So yeah, this book just jumps all over the place. It's non-linear, but the characters and the setting is very endearing. So I do want to continue. I do want to try giving this book a try. Testaments is 3 points of view, 3 different women of Gilead, making notes as a library book, so can't annotate. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I know. I read it. I read the Testaments myself. We'll watch after I finish the read. Oh yeah. After you finish the read, so you will read the Testaments, but the TV series of the Testaments has not aired yet. It's coming out in April. You can read that on the Wikipedia page. Yeah, the Wikipedia page. Okay. Let's see. I got like 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to tune out. So I'm glad that I didn't just have Elaine here. I had other people leaving comments. So mission accomplished. I advertised this live stream as much as I possibly could. So these are my closing thoughts before I tune out. So yeah. I rarely watch TV, about 4 hours a week at most. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I should watch a lot less TV myself. Not very healthy to be glued to a screen too much. Woohoo, and congratulations and happy birthday. Yep. Now, where was I on my closing thoughts? Yes, mission accomplished. I had more people than just Elaine leaving comments. I advertised my channel as much as possible. I advertised my live stream as much as possible. And so here we are. Other live streams are less successful than this one, but that I always make a point to get as many people to talk about and know that I do live streams on my birthday. So there we go. Pity about time zones. So thank you all for thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate it. You've brightened my day, and in the future, yeah, and I'll try contacting Robert Harris via his publishing company, and I'll get that health checkup in February. That's future plans. I have very few other plans other than finishing, of course, Genji. And believe me, once I finish this book, I have a lot to say about it. Okay. Still have 4 people here. Goodbye, hello and goodbye to whoever did not leave any comments. Yeah. Goodbye.